Be excellent to each other and party on. We're back for another Legacy League, and today we are playing Blue-White Stifle. So this is a tempo deck that plays 4 Stifle and 4 days, and you might be wondering why. Is that even really good? Well, I will say that I just got completely destroyed by 4X Stifle last night at a tournament, and I kind of thought about it for a while, and I thought, well, why not? I mean, it is synergistic with Phelia. You can stop things from coming back. And of course, it does synergize with Quantum Riddler. If you don't have a Phelia and you want to get your Riddler earlier, you can just stifle the warp trigger at the end of the turn step. And also, of course, Stifle is an incredible offensive tool for essentially destroying your opponent's mana base. So we've got the 4 Wastelands, the 4 Dazes, and then we can just squeeze them with some of the best creatures ever printed. Tamiyo, of course, this is just completely degenerate if you're able to use it unchecked. Phelia, which can generate lots of value. And of course, Murktide, which can just kind of come out from nowhere and kill your opponent very quickly if they don't have removal. And of course, the 4 Quantum Riddlers. In terms of removal, we've got access to Plow and Prismatic Ending. I've got a couple more on the sides. We've got Wrath of the Skies, which I think is probably the best sweeper overall. We have tons of stack interaction. So we, in addition to the 4 Wasteland, or the 4 days, 4 force, we have 3 force negations. We also have 3 Hydroblasts for blue strategies and 3 consigned to memory. And the reason why I wanted to keep things really simple and not add a third color, we can actually add double blue and we can still win, even if like our opponent is able to waste us a whole lot or get a Blood Moon out or something like that, because our win conditions are all like double blue, basically. Quantum Riddler and Murktide. So we're going to play a full 5 rounds as always. See you in round 1. Our opponent plays a variety of decks, all of which are of the combo variety. I think I keep this extremely flexible hand, but I am worried that they're on like Oops or something like that. Also, you'll note that because I'm playing the extra basic land, so I'm playing 2 islands and 2 and 1 plains, I opted to not play a Meticulous Archive. So we don't have a Surveil land in the deck. We just, all our land does is make good mana. Okay, so you know, we don't know what our opponent's on, so I'm reluctant to ponder here. I think I'll just play at the Strand and we'll chill. But unfortunately, if they are on Oops, we're going to have to brainstorm, try to slow them down. But they did not mulligan. They are on Oops. Do they just have the turn 1? There's not really any merit to me brainstorming here. I mean, I guess I could find like double force. That's like literally all I can think, or a daze even would not be terrible. I don't expect we're going to get another turn. I mean, that's not bad. We can force and then we can daze. This Tundra will never do anything. Wasteland is good. So I'll put it like that. I'm going to force the Unmask. And again, if I don't force it, then they'll know what they have to beat. They might go all in here. Okay, they're not doing anything that's great. So now I'm just going to go ahead and waste them. I have days up. It's not a good plan. The cards on top of my deck suck. I'm going to go ahead and ponder, trying to find another force. Second days is okay, but we don't need that land. I'm going to any order shuffle this. All right, Brainstorm's not bad. So if they try to go for it, you know, days probably doesn't stop them. Okay, they shock that in. Therapy. I'm going to let it resolve. They're going to see our hand. They name force. Okay, they pass. A Wasteland is the best thing we can draw at this point. Tamiyo, I can just play her and flip her. I can also just end step the Phelia, start doing damage to them. I think I do need to keep the Tamiyo out, and we'll just see whether they're ready to go for it yet. They may not be, but I think they most likely will. They just need enough mana to be able to overpower this daze. Okay. All right, we're going to get a turn. This is great. And Phelia will be a great game piece to have on the table because she can attack and grow. So we'll take a random draw. All right, I don't want that land. My instinct is to go ahead and I can play out the Tamiyo just as something that can flip here, but I don't actually want to flip Tamiyo, so I'm going to brainstorm first. There's a second daze. I like that. I can just warp the Riddler, and then we've got him dead in a couple turns, and I'll have double days up. I think that's about as good as I can get. I will draw this brainstorm off the Riddler. Not that we'll be able to cast it. So we draw a trigger. Now we go to combat, and this is going to grow the Phelia, and they're going to be dead in like 2 swings, I think. I don't think we're going to win, though. because like they almost certainly kept this hand on the strength of, being able to win somehow. But that was a pretty good sequence. Unmasking me. They can take one of my dazes. Is it worth dazing here just to slow them down a little bit? Yes. They pay for it. I'm going to daze again. They pay for it. Okay, so they're going to take some random card like a brainstorm or whatever. That doesn't really matter. And I'm going to get another turn most likely. So that worked out great for me. Take my brainstorm. Brainstorm's a sick rip. So I want to brainstorm and see if I can find a force before I do anything. Stifle may be good enough. All right, so I'll put back the land. I will put back Tommy. She's just not. She's a blue card. It might be better to have a plow just in case they pass. I can't imagine a world in which. Let's think about this. So we can stifle the trigger. Yeah, that has to be good enough, unfortunately. Also, I don't have a means to shuffle here. So I'm hitting for 7. So there's no reason that I need to grow my Riddler. But I could actually attack with just the Phelia, flicker the Riddler. Then this will come back as a 4, and they'll be at 1. I don't know that that's actually correct. The other option is I could play out the Tomio, but she's just she doesn't do anything other than be blinked by Phelia. So I think I just forego a card and guarantee they're dead next turn. I'm thinking really hard here. I think it is better to hold the plow since we like getting an extra card off Riddler. I think is worth less than just doing more damage to them. Because 7, and then like they're probably dead to. I'm just trying to think. I don't think there's a way they can get rid of that. They could like fell the profane. If Tomio sticks around, she is a card draw next turn. But I think the game's just over if they can't win here, and I don't think they can win through Stifle, but they might be able to. I'll put back the Merc. Since they haven't seen Merc. In case they do something here. All right, I'll just attack for 7. They're at 5. Undercity Informer. Elvish Spirit Guide. You have a pact? GG. All right, so we're going to bring in our Force Negations. Dressdown can actually do some stuff here. I think it's worth considering. Cards that come out, I don't think they're going to be on a creature plan against our creature-heavy deck. I think we can take the Plows. I'll take a Prismatic Ending. Consign is actually worth playing here. We've taken out almost all our white cards. I think we can take out the Plains. That Stifle was pretty sweet, huh? Yeah, like that's a good showing for Stifle already. Not sure what else to take out. Probably just take out a Phelia and just max our blue cards. This is not a force hand. Our opponent kept 7. This hand does basically everything we need it to do. It wastes, it dazes, it has consign. I think we need a force hand. Just to be a little more careful. I'm going to get a force hand. I'm going to keep this, and they're going to assume that I have a force, because why would I mull that deep and not keep a force? I'm going to keep... Stifles are better than consigns against their deck. The only thing that's better is if they are on... I could keep 1-on-1, but... Yeah, I think I just put back a land and a consign. All right. I think we're probably just dead. But they should probably presume that we have a force if we mold so deep. And if they Thoughtseize us, they're going to be able to take one of our Stifles, but they'll have to Thoughtseize us twice before they can win. I do think maybe that initial 7 was a keep, but we shall soon see whether they just go ahead and turn 1 us with impunity. If they do. But I think they're not going to do that because I thought, they're just going to Thoughtseize or Unmask here. Yep. And they're going to see that I don't have any action. They'll probably just take the Brainstorm. Yep. I was correct. So they have something that beats Stifle, or they just win now. All right, let's play at the known land. Always play the known land before you play the unknown land, even if the unknown land is better. So they just have to be a single Stifle, which a Pact will do. We didn't get to see their deck because we won. Ritual. Passageway Seer. I'm going to Stifle the initiative trigger. I don't want to mess with that. So they'll never have the initiative, so it won't grow. It's just a dumb 2/2 with lifelink. And when I say dumb, I just mean it doesn't do anything. It has lifelink, but it doesn't have any other meaningful abilities. They went down to 2 for that. I think I just need to chill with the Riddler. Play this out, and then what I can do is I can always Riddle and then Stifle and trigger so that I have a bigger creature. I love Passageway Seer. I played him in my Helm list a few days ago. They're Thoughtseizing. They're going to take my Riddler now. That sucks. I'll eventually draw another threat. And had I warped the Riddler, I would still have a Riddler, but I needed 5 mana to play him out, and I don't know how long this game's going to last. All right, Daze. I'll play the Known Tundra out. Their deck is low resource, so it's possible that they try to do something into a Daze. They're not going to kill me with a 2/2. I will figure out a way out of this. A Murktide, something like that. Phelia is great. I'm going to chill, and I'll just use her in the instep. And it's worth noting that Phelia, you can stifle the creature and it never comes back. But I don't think I actually do that. I think I just play Phelia out and then wait, because Stifle's just too good against like other things they could be doing. I'm going to go ahead and fetch, and then I will Daze this, and then I'll also Phelia, because I don't want to deal with this. I can't stifle the Elvish Spirit Guide, unfortunately. All right, it's in, but now I'm not worried about like them doing stuff. I mean, I probably should still be worried about them doing stuff, but I can just exile that and stifle it when it comes back, because I'm not currently winning this race. The Daze is nice because they are low resource. Yeah, I think I just need to get rid of the Douthie first, because that will mess me up. But yeah, my opponent did this to me. They like marked my creatures with Phelia last night, and I was just like, man, maybe I need to give Stifle another try. So they don't know about the Daze. They are winning this race, obviously. They're going up 2, and I'm merely taking 2 from them. If I draw another Stifle, I can get rid of this. Even though they had the Spirit Guide for the... that's a good card. Let's go and do that. If I find something I can blink, then we can get going like a... Yeah, there we go. So I don't need this consign, I don't think. I'd rather just... Yeah, so Tamiyo can block this all day long, unless they are able to take the initiative again. So I'll just go ahead and blink Tamiyo, growing, and I'll outgrow them, and eventually I'll beat them even though they have lifelink. I just need to keep them from doing their degenerate stuff. Stifle's been insane in this game. Like, this match so far, Stifle's been awesome. Okay, Felmire, shocked. All right, so they're going to do something with that. Poxwalkers, I think I dazed this. It'll come back, but I don't really care. Like, they can't immediately bring it back. I just want to keep the board clear. I'm drawing a fetch land, which is not good. I have a consign on top of my deck. I can get the consign with the Tamiyo. I think I do want that consign, just in case. I think I'd be remiss not to have it. Yeah, let's go ahead and do this. I'll attack with both. I'll create the clue. I love this play pattern. Like, I know Tamiyo is annoying and she should be banned, but like, it is just so sweet being able to like use her like a tool like that. I mean, it's freaking awesome. Tamiyo comes back. We've got a 4/4. They still can't do damage to us. Therapy your heart out. They can cast Therapy from the graveyard to get Poxwalkers back, and that is a creature that can attack through. Of course, my really good spells on top of my deck, so they won't see that. Yeah, they decided like, it's not worth bringing back the Poxwalkers. Instep, I can go ahead and get the card off the top of my deck. I hope my opponent is having a miserable time facing my control deck with their combo deck. Okay, that's an unfortunate rip. I'll play this out. I'm not going to use it. I don't want to actually flip my Tamiyo. I want to just continue to have her as a blocker. And sorry, if like that seems malicious, like I just can't stand playing against oops all spells. As you know, like the thin veneer of civility has slipped off. Like I'm just through with this deck until they ban it, and they will ban it. It's just a question of how soon. They will give the community a welcome reprieve. They're at 11. I will pass. I can consign the heck out of this if they try to win. I can consign all the Thassa's Oracle trigger, I can consign the Thassa's Oracle trigger, but that wouldn't be good enough. But I can consign the Narcomoeba triggers, is what I mean. They are very slowly losing the life total. Okay, so here, unfortunately, I can't do anything about that. They're just keeping it in play. Let's go and draw a card. And this means that I can only consign 2 triggers. Okay, they are letting me pass my turn. Let's draw a card. Okay, force negation. Like it. I may need all this mana. So this is 2/3. Yeah, no merit to not just going in and attacking. So they are threatening the combo, but I have consign, which can stop all their many triggers. They do have the ability to flashback. I think I screwed up. I think I needed to play out this island just in case, Because now I won't be able to have force negation and can sign up. Yeah, I think they're thinking about blocking and then using the ability. I definitely want this mana on the table. So we have our blocker. We are going to have to face their combo. It's basically unavoidable at this point. Let's block here. So what they can do is they can therapy me, and then they probably name Force of Will because I've got 5 mana up. Okay, let's see how many triggers they get. 46. Okay, they don't have Thassa's Oracle. All right, well, I think I just... Let's see, how many Cabal Therapies do they have? How many Bridge from Belows? I need to do a full clinic of this. So we're looking for Bridge from Below. I don't actually see it. They must have a swamp in their deck, right? Like, I guess they don't. They've held this card in their hand the entire time. It could be like a pact. I just want to be extremely careful because I've played very carefully up to this point. So they have 1 therapy left. So I believe if I just counter this trigger, they don't get a creature back and they don't have the ability to... Yeah, so I just need a double... Let's see. Actually, I could just do this, and then if they pact, I can just force. I don't see the way that they would bring it back, so I don't think they have a reroll. I think this is it. This is it. What they were going to do, I think, was Cabal Therapy to where they had 3 creatures, and then they could... Like, I actually don't even know... I don't see their win con card. Am I missing something? How do they actually win? They have a Dread Return, but what does it get back? The Oracle may be in hand, but if the Oracle is in hand, they can't cast it. And they did have a swamp. For some reason, like I guess they were waiting to draw the swamp organically. So because if you're going to play the initiative, you want to have a basic swamp you can get out of your deck, but it does ruin your combo. All right, we got it. Again, for oops, not necessarily for my opponent. Like, they didn't interact with me at all, verbally or anything, like in the chat. But just, if you're playing oops, like, this is a message to all oops players. We don't like playing against your deck, and it's lame. And switch to a different deck. I've got, I don't know, like 60 or 70 videos of me playing other budget decks, if money is a consideration, that are 100% more fun, 1,000% more fun than oops. Right, round 2, we're 1-0. We're up against Cradle Control, which is a very powerful aggro deck. Don't let the control in the name fool you. It's a misnomer. And then with a combo finish, by the way. Like, almost all my games end with them just comboing me. This hand sucks, but it's not atrocious. Like, we can do early Riddler. I'm going to keep it. I definitely don't want to have to force anything, but I don't expect them to interact with my lands. Land is the most likely thing we're going to draw. I'm going to put back a land. We're on the play, which is nice. I'll just keep it ambiguous with this Scalding Tarn. Generally, Cradle Control does not interact. Like, I actually will stifle a fetch. I don't think we win a game where we force this. They didn't mull or anything. Like, if they mull really hard and then they once upon a time, then they may be digging for a land or some sort of action. But, okay, basic forest. Hierarch. Okay. Well, I think I'm just going to bolt the bird. Huh. Is that correct? Yeah, I'm going to do it. The problem with this deck is, like, Guy's Cradle's bonkers, and, like, everything's worth, like, 2 mana, basically. The mana dorks are double mana, and also, yeah, we can go ahead and ponder and see what we find, and then we can shuffle if we want to. I mean, these are definitely keeps. My goodness, these are great. Even the second land is not terrible. I think I'll just... Yeah, I'm not going to need the third land unless they waste me. So I'll put the land under here. I'll take the plow now, just in case I have to emergency plow something. But I definitely want that Phelia. And then we're just going to be patient. And next turn, we're going to Phelia. And then after that, we're going to Riddler. That's fine. Do you not have another land? You do. Okay. Definitely a risk in letting them have this mana. But I do have a Force of Will here. So I'm just going to be patient. And I'll let them have that for 1 turn cycle. And if they make like a dubious attack, well, Phelia's jumping in to potentially disrupt it. So Stifle is pitchable to force. It is a blue card. That is his floor. So even if they natural order here, gosh, if they suit up that Guy's Cradle, they can produce so much mana. It's like an insane amount of mana. I think this is just a force. This card is just bonkers. And that would have also given them extra mana here. Because, like, oh, they're just going to get the tree. Unfortunately, them getting the tree makes me think that they're probably going to natural order here, and I probably punted. But if I find a land off of one of the Riddler activations, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get a Tundra here, just to keep my options open. I am not a no reserve list deck today. I'm playing the full powered dual lands here. And the reason I'm doing that is because I'm playing Wasteland and I'm playing Daze. I think in like a Daze Wasteland shell, you really do need duels. Mono blue tempo is the only tempo deck viable that doesn't involve duels. Okay, I've finished that thought. Let's go ahead and get Phelia in. So we're going to riddle. I am going to riddle here. Gosh, am I? Let's think about it. Like, I really do need to find a force effect. I really do fear that they have... I mean, they had the mana for natural order, and then it gets Atraxa. I mean, I have Plow for Atraxa. It's not the end of the world. Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and do this. Because this is like the value play, and this is the play that assumes that there's another turn. I can even do this again next turn, which seems pretty good if I have the mana. Which I'm aware that I shuffled away the mana, but like I'm not unhappy with like how things are going. Our deck's doing what it needs to do. Let's find a Wasteland. That would be incredible. It doesn't matter the sequence of the stacking, by the way. I'm not going to like accidentally warp out my dude because it's a different trigger. That's phenomenal, but unfortunately it's the end step. So I'll have to wait till next turn to play it. So they have natural order. They've got it. Also, if they have another Badger Mole Cub, that's nutty and powerful too. Voice of Victory. Okay, well, that's another must plow. But that means we're not going to get natural order here, which is great. They don't have good attacks. I think they're doing that because they suspect I might have a force. I'm going to play this out. I should have waited because I could rip a Wasteland here. Let's go and play this out with Warp. All right, a second plow. Not bad. I think I do need to just go ahead and plow the voice. That may give them some degree of pause. And I could, of course, draw like a force or even a daze. Might be good enough. All right, so I get a trigger here. I'm very happy about how things are going. Like this deck is feeling great so far. And I was like definitely skeptical of Stifle and Daze. Excuse me, when you're playing cards that are not particularly strong. Okay. Where's the natural order? They have the mana for it. They don't have the mana to green sun it out yet. Wow, we're getting another turn? Okay. I think we're going to win this one. Daze probably doesn't do anything here. Let's think about this. So they're going to take 8 in the air. They could chump potentially. I mean, we could attack them for 12 if we could clear all these. They're actually, this is the only one that actually has any power. So these, we can clear them and they don't even gain any life. I think it's fine to go ahead and brainstorm just to see what we can find. Oh, I played the wrong freaking card. Okay. Well, I am going to not continue to punt here. I'm just going to go ahead and Phelia blink this. Yeah. And then not do anything further. Gosh, I could find a Wasteland though. She's not going to be in play. Oh, I can just dodge and then she'll be up, which is actually how I want her. But yeah, I'll just go ahead and attack. I'll blink her. I'll come in with all these and then I can brainstorm afterward and try to find a Wasteland or a force. Yeah, because I actively don't want to flip her, if that makes sense. Because, well, does that even make sense? Okay, this is fine. Let's see, if we plow their bop, they don't even have... Oh, let's go ahead and brainstorm first. Is there a way that I can empty my hand? I could like daze and replay the land and get like 3 cards instead of just 1. Because you plow one of the creatures... Then you brainstorm and you daze it, but then I actually don't have the mana to pay for daze. Oh, wait, I could brainstorm. Okay, hear me out. This is crazy. I could brainstorm, and then I could daze with the brainstorm on the stack, pay the mana, and then, no, that wouldn't work. That wouldn't work. I'm just going to go ahead and see if I can find a Wasteland or a Force. I'll do it now. Okay, that's fine. I don't need the Riddler where I'm going. No, wait, I'd rather have Riddler than... Yeah, I'll just do it like that. Play this out. Do I want to just plow now to restrict their options? I think that's fine. Because then they don't have as much mana. I actually want to plow this. Because they can do tricks with that elf. That are really annoying. Okay, so we get our Tommy back. They just scoop to that. Okay, cool. And I'm taking a long time. My opponent's probably like, gosh, are they ever going to finish? But like, if you're new to the Be Excellent channel, I overthink everything. That is my MO. And speaking of MO, that stands for massive overboarding. We're going to, actually, I don't think it's massive overboarding, but like we're going to bring in a full 6 cards here. So bring in Wrath for sure. That card's insane. Prismatic Ending, great against 1-drops. Not really good against anything but 1-drops, frankly. I think this card, like people overestimate, like, oh, I'm going to have Prismatic Ending on 3. Like if you're paying 3 mana to remove your opponent's 3-drop, like technically that's on curve, but like what are you doing with the rest of your turn? You're probably not doing anything else, you know? It's a card that's at its best removing like a 1-drop, like a Tomio or something like that. Okay, so cards we don't really need against their deck, like on the draw, I think Daze. I mean, Stifle probably comes out too. I know it's the namesake of the deck, but their deck does have fetchlands, but they're always going to be proactively playing stuff out. Brazen Borrower, I don't know that there's actually anything in their deck. Oh, you know what? They could come up with that annoying Elvish, whatever it's called, Sylvan Safekeeper. That would be annoying. I don't think Brazen Borrower is useful here. I'll take it out. I do want to trim some of the tempo cards for sure. I think we trim like all 4 dazes, I think, come out. They're just not good against this deck. And I could trim a Stifle. But Stifle may be good because it could like stop certain triggers, like stop an Atraxa trigger, maybe stop a fetch. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, we'll run it like that. Dress Down may be useful to like snuff a trigger. I wish I was playing black because black has access to Snuff Out, which is just absolutely devastating against their deck. This is a snap keep. This hand is absolutely bonkers. Yeah, if I get like enough favorable exchanges, I might actually be able to get 2 cards of Quantum Riddler. I'm snap keeping this. I was just Tundra, Prismatic End, whatever they play out. I'm just going to try to control them and run them out of cards. Outsource Shepherd. You got it. It's dead. That thing will die with extreme prejudice. You were an R&D mistake in the eyes of control gamers everywhere. All right. Oh, you got a follow-up, huh? All right. Do you have a land? Yeah, you got the best land. That is fine. I will just waste your Cradle and plow your Shepherd. I can't leave the Shepherd. Like, it's tempting to leave the Shepherd but like something crazy could happen, you know? So we'll take out the land that produces the most mana. Actually, I could just reduce them to 0 creatures. I think it's probably better. Because if they have a redundant Cradle, that's bad. But Cradle literally taps for nothing if I just force the next creature, which is what I'm planning to do probably. Yes! We did it! We did it, fam! They've got like probably a Cradle in hand. All right, so I think this is just ponder and try to find a Wasteland for their other land. Wrath of the Skies. I can't put these cards back. They're too good. Too good. We're suffering from success over here. I'll just play out the Tomio. I guess I could take the second Force. I mean, we're going to have a giant Merc next turn to finish them off. Yeah, I just want to be able to protect the Merc. I don't think they're going to be able to interact with it meaningfully. But Tomio is nice just because she gets the clock going. All right. This is feeling good. Feeling pretty good. Larry David definitely approves. All right. Let's come across when he's not doing a Crypto.com commercial. I know I've used that joke before, but I just thought it was hilarious that he got involved with them. Okay. So we have... What's the card on top? I'm so bad at this. Oh, it's Wrath of the Skies. Okay. Well, I think we just Merc. Let's just kill him. They're like sitting there doing nothing. And when your opponent is sitting there doing nothing, put them out of their misery. That's how I approach the world. Okay. All right, 6/6. Gonna help you hit the bricks over there. They got to land. You're gonna fetch. I will force your whatever. No, thank you. You are not allowed to have mana. They gave you too much mana, and now I have to take your mana away. Wrath of the Skies. We already knew about that one. I think these just come across and chill. I can crack a clue. Is there any reason not to crack the clue now in case I find a Wasteland? No, there is not. I'm going to go ahead and do it. Okay, well, that's a land. All right. Feeling very good. I actually probably don't want to force the next threat because I could Riddle. If I just Wrath, I still can't kill it. Yeah, I'm so far ahead. Like, I know I'm not supposed to do this, but it feels fine. Just to completely deny the mana. Because this comes out and they get, like, tons of mana. Like, it's not even funny how much mana they'll have. Because this activates this, and they sees 2 creatures, and then it produces an additional. So that's 3 mana right there just by itself. I can flip my Tamio here, which I think is correct. I'm going to go ahead and flip, or I'll draw once and see what I draw, just in case I draw something better. No, I'm just going to go ahead and flip her. I will get a plains while I'm here just in case they choke. I don't think that's likely, but just like that would suck if I walked into a choke. I don't think they're going to have any like anti-blue stuff, but I'll get a basic. It doesn't really matter at this point. Like if they had like back to basics in their mono green deck. All right, so we got a Wrath up, and now Wrath is one-sided. I don't lose my Tamio, and I can pay for 2. So if they have Badger Mole Cub number 3, I'll just Wrath it and take the land with it. And the land, of course, comes back because Badger Mole is a proper fire design card. A lot of control players are really disappointed by Wrath, by the way. Like, or by Badger Mole Cub. Like, it's just way too powerful for what it is. Like, the fact that even after it dies, the creature still has the ability to come back. And believe me, I love green, but like, let's just call it a fire design card. I will happily, talk smack about Tamio, for example. But I'm also going to be talking smack about Badger Mole. Okay, voice, yeah, sure. All right, so here, I think this is just Wrath for 2, and we just get back our Force. Oh, you just get back Force, and they're dead? How about that? And if you'd like to endurance me, that also works. Let's go across. GG. Yeah, that was devastating, but like, they devastate me usually. Like, usually that's an extremely terrible matchup for blue decks, but we got lucky. I've got a hot take for you. Stifle should have been a black card because it is by far the most evil card ever printed in Magic the Gathering history. All right, we're up against a very skilled opponent who's playing a deck that is extremely good against ours. Most likely Jeskai control. The weakness of Jeskai control is if they don't have the Force, they're not very good at dealing with Murktide. So I do think an early Murktide is in the cards here. I'm just going to open with this island, and I'll just keep it up, and I'll try to stifle their fetch, which may not bait, but like necessitate a Force, depending on the texture of their hand. But the great thing about Stifle and Daze and stuff like that is they do fill up the graveyard for Murk. Okay, I can't stifle that. They're just going to ponder, I presume. This could be Tamio. Ponder. Okay. So unfortunately, I do need to get this Phelia out, but I won't be able to get it out if I have to. That's pretty good. I can get a basic. I think I probably do get a basic here because I have the 3rd land lined up, and I can just play on 100% basics in case they're back to basics. It's unlikely, but it's possible because they are likely on Jeskai. Okay. So Tamio has hit the table. My thinking on this is we go ahead and Phelia, and they'll probably plow here, and then we'll miss our window to... but if they don't plow here, it's really good. Like if they pass, I seriously doubt that's going to happen, though. I'm almost certain they're going to plow here. Please don't plow. Please give me another turn. Don't keep me in suspense, friend. Okay. All right, that's great. That's phenomenal. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to play out my Tamio here. A Tamio of our own. I should have fetched there. Actually, like I absolutely should have fetched because now they could respond. Like, because I had the brainstorm, I could save Tamio. There's just block here. It's fine. So unfortunately, again, like I have to activate this fetch. Okay, they didn't fetch. I'm just waiting for them to fetch. Oh no, 2 of them. Okay. I'm going to respect the very unlikely possibility that they're on black, and I am going to block here for Kaito's sake. Harmony Woods, shout out to them. They've been playing some pretty cool brews. Marsh Flats, okay. I'm just going to play this out. I want to have as much mana as possible. I'm going to go ahead and go to combat and see what they do here. So far, things have worked out incredibly well for us, but I think I'm going to go ahead and fetch here. I'll get the island. Now I'm going to attempt to brainstorm. Now they're going to do some shenanigans. There's no way they let me resolve that. I'm going to stifle that. I still have... Okay, they're going to fetch again. All right. They let that go. They plow a second time. I love it. That's card advantage. And we got their land. All right. Well, I'll just waste them here. I've already played on my land, unfortunately. So I'll just put one of the mercs back and put this back too, I guess. And then I can just take their token out or their clue. Then next turn I can waste them. Yeah. I do want to get this Merc on the table, but like I might not need it. Actually, I have a fetch. I probably should have just shuffled there. I definitely want this Wasteland. I'll just wait and see what happens. I don't have a Surveil, unfortunately. They get their clue back, but they don't. Okay. So I will absolutely force if they do anything proactive here. Like if they try to kill my Phelia, I will force that. Okay, Meticulous Archive. If they flip Tamio, I'm totally fine with that. I'm never going to let her regrow a plow. They've already used 2 of their plows. They could have Prismatic Ending here. Feeling pretty good. Do I want to draw a blue card for force? I think I do. Yep. And it's the second force. So I think the play here is we go ahead and go to combat. And then if they try to plow, well, I am going to definitely force. I can actually hardcast force at this point, which I think is worth doing if they try to plow. Because this matchup is all about card advantage. Yeah, I'll go ahead and take that, and I think they'll just activate it. But if they want to plow, they can't. Okay, they just let it go. Interesting. So they're going to take the 3 damage. Or are they? Do they have plow number 3? They're thinking very hard. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and waste them in, like, before we go to post-combat. I don't actually know if there's any reason to do this. Yeah, I'll do that. Okay, they've got white floating, but it's going to go away. Lorien Reeled. I think it's fine. I'm not going to interact with that. I mean, they forewent a clue activation to get that, right? This is a chess match game. Blue-white on blue-white. I love it. I'm so excited. But they have red, which is a huge advantage against us. We were on the play, which was, of course, a big advantage as well. And I think we just go ahead. We're drawing another Merc. If we're drawing another Merc, like I think it's better to be able to pay for Spell Pierce than it is to have a graveyard. I'm just going to shuffle anyway. But I mean, I could create like a second Merc if I wanted to. Yeah, but Spell Pierce would be a real bummer. If I force and they just are able to answer with Spell Pierce. Now they can't attack with Tamio unless they're just going to flip her. And flipping her again, like I can just revert her at any point. So this is force number 3. They have land 2 unknowns. I think we force here to protect this. Because this will just end them pretty quickly. They're unlikely to draw another plow. Okay, Pyroblast potential. They could also do the one that, oh gosh, they have red, so they can do the thing that like draws them cards and kills one of our creatures. Absolutely brutal if that's their last card. And if that's the case, then I probably should have held my force. Yeah, it looks like they're doing that. Yeah, it sucks. They get 2 cards. That flips the Tamio. Absolute devastation. We're getting blown out here. And they still have their clue. I can return her to her normal state. I do have another Merc on top, which I can't actually cast, but it's only a 4/4. Is that worth doing? I think it might actually be worth playing it because it's a 4/4 and we're just applying pressure. I flip this. They can't regrow the plow. Yeah, I think Merc is way better than just some random card. Like Riddler obviously would be great, but like that's 4 hits in 46. And I'm going to take the draw. Let's go ahead and attack and warp her out. Yeah, if they are able to like regrow the flame. I mean, they could just have another flame, which would be absolutely insane, but I don't think we live in that world. And you may be wondering why I'm not going ahead and playing out the Murktide first, because I could have blinked it and got more power on Phelia. But yeah, I don't think that's where we want to be. They are going to have another wizard here. I don't have a stifle. I guess maybe actually getting a stifle would have been really good because I would have kept them from having a wizard. So she's out. She'll come back. They take 2. Play our Merc out. And they don't have good attacks, but again, like the wizard thing just does it. It just destroys me again. I doubt they're playing Daze, but it would be very good here if they were. They get their Tamio back, which can't attack. They need the flame. Or Snapcaster with Plow would do it. That would give them an entree to to do stuff. I don't think we're winning this game. They have 5 cards in hand plus a clue plus an active Tamio. The only thing we have going for us is the fact that we do have offensive. They're going to put a card on top. They can, yeah, they can just. I don't think we can seed yet. It feels terrible. Yeah, I definitely screwed up. Like I think I just let them plow. So they're going to crack the clue. Well, actually, yeah, they won't have the mana to do it after they crack the clue. They need to interact now. Okay, and now they have the mana. But they don't have the wizard. No, wait, they can do it with the wizard, with the Tamio flip trigger on the stack. That's so clutch. My opponent's a genius. I mean, like, I don't play their deck, so maybe I would have seen that line too, but it's counterintuitive, is what I'm saying. Or they could not see that line, and now, yes, they have that card, but they don't have the freaking wizard in play, so they can't use it for both modes. I think they punt it, because that was an instant, right? They could have just done it. Okay, well, somebody in the comments correct me if I'm like misunderstanding, but Tamio flip on the stack, she's still a wizard. You can still do wizard things. Maybe my opponent had a really good reason for not doing that. They're cracking a clue. That's fine. I will allow it. Terminus. Well, that is a pretty good reason for doing what you're doing. Okay, good game. Like, there's no way we come back from this because they have active Tamio. Yeah. Okay. Well, my opponent is... Yeah, I didn't imagine that that would be main deck. Okay, so now we'll draw a card and we'll concede. Good game. Wasn't even close, frankly. With the cards they had in the hand, they had it under control the entire time. Okay. So here, let's talk about cards that are not good. Prismatic Ending is meh. Is it good? Like, it deals with Tamio. It deals with Snapcaster. I don't think it's great. I actually think Force Negation is really good here. I'm not like sold on Hydroblast being good, even though they are playing some red. It does technically stop that wizard spell. We're on the play, so I want to keep my dazes in, even though they're like a man. They're not completely. I would be willing to bet they're playing only like 3 or 4 basics. We can look at their recent list. We can see they're playing a basic mountain, a basic, 4 basics. And they are playing Mystic Sanctuary, Meticulous Archive, and Caracas. So, Waste-delicious is how I will word it. The fact that they have 2 main deck Termini, what a freaking mad lad. Dress Down is actually good because it's stymies some of their abilities. They're playing Tishana's Tidebender and Snapcaster. Like, it stops both of those. I'm not sure that I board. I do feel confident that Prismatic Ending is a trap here. On the play, I definitely want to keep Dazes in. I don't know that Brazen Borrower actually does a damn thing against their deck. They are probably playing Fourth Aerolingus. By the way, obligatory, always look up your opponents. Don't let people shame you into not looking up your opponents. It's public information. Anybody is, like, your opponent's probably doing this to you too. And if they're not, they're leaving EV on the table. EV being expected value. With 4 Flame, I'm going to take out the Prismatic Ending. I'm going to bring in a Hydroblast. I think that's the only sideboard I'm going to make. Yeah. And we're going to try to squeeze their mana through Stifle. That's what our deck's all about. I should have taken out the Brazen Borrower. Did I not do that? Okay. Yeah, I should have taken it out and probably had that be a Hydroblast as well. This is a great hand. Absolutely nothing to complain about with this hand. Our opponent is not playing anything that I can see to punish us having non-basic. So I'm just going to go ahead and get some like variety in my lands. Because it would suck if I needed like the blue. Oh, yeah. I just can't believe that they would, bring in like a Blood Moon when we played so many basics last game. So we're down 3 minutes. I will go in like Brute Tea in between rounds. If you ever queue into me and you're like, damn, Be Excellent's always making me wait. I'm sorry. I'm a busy guy. I'll play fast relatively to make up for the lost time. Okay. So I'm going to just daze if they try to remove this. This is a powerful thing our deck can do. All right. And we got a Tamio, so we got a clue. So the reason Tamio is so broken is it's always a 2-for-1. Or it's not always a 2-for-1, but like at the very least, it's a 1-for-1, and it's usually a 2-for-1. And this game will go long, and this clue will matter. So my ideal sequence here is I stifle their land, and then, or if they try to Pyroblast, I can Hydroblast it. Then next turn, I can Phelia up. And it'll maybe look like I'm just going to crack a clue, but I'll actually have Phelia up too. Caracas would be an absolute beating if they find it, but I do have 4 Wastelands in my deck. Please crack it. Tamio's fine. My opponent is very smart, and they are not going to fetch because they were going to want to force me to keep my own up. I think it's fine to just play the island here and preserve the shuffle for later. I will want that land. They are also very cautious blocking, even though it's extremely unlikely I would have an Ninjutsu effect. Overall, I think my opponent is like a pro. Obviously, if they're getting like nearly top 8 in challenges with like kind of like a non-tier deck, that says a lot about their capabilities. Second turn. All right, so you've got a clue. You're catching up with me in clues. All right, so they could have Terminus on top. It's not going to happen this turn. I can stifle the trigger. I am going to attempt this because if I can riddle, it's insane. If they force here or if they just plow this, I'll live. I've got Quantum Riddler, but I just don't want to riddle here. Basic red. Okay, what is this that's coming our way? I think they're just fetching around Stifle because I stifled them last game and they know it's in there. Okay, it's in. And now it's removed? No? All right. Brainstorm's great. I think we do riddle. I think I'd be remiss not to riddle here. And then if they have the thing, I'll just have to stifle it, frankly, and hope that works. But I'm not going to leave this on the table. This is just so strong if they don't have exactly Terminus. Here, I think this is just a Hydroblast. But then I'm giving up my ability to fight like a Terminus, but I am getting a 2-for-1 here. I will just grab another Tundra here, and we will attempt to Hydro their Pyro. That's why we put it in their deck. In our deck, rather. We can't put cards in their deck unless we're... Richard Garfield had like some playtest cards. Some people were like playing Magic against Richard Garfield, and the cards in the deck like put like random jank cards in your deck. It was pretty cool. So it's kind of like a junking effect if anybody's ever played Dominion, where you're like putting curses and stuff like that in your opponent's deck. All right, so again, I am living in fear of freaking Terminus, and there's nothing I can do about it. But I am getting a couple cards here. It's not nothing. Tamio will flip in the end step, so she won't go with the Terminus. Oh, sick freaking rip. And if we force and play a land, we can clue and draw 2 cards. It's unfortunate we didn't get the land earlier because we could have played it out. We had a land drop. Archive. On the draw, I'm definitely taking out maybe all the dazes. I love me some control and control action. Go ahead, attack to your heart's content. I will even let you flip this. I assume you are going to flip here. Flame of Anur. How about Flame of No Thanks? The card I will pitch here is Brainstorm. I'm just going to... No, it's Stifle. Because I don't want to hold mana up for the rest of the game. All right, do you have a way to save your Tamio? Or are we just going to Terminus to get out of this? That's insane. Okay. Advantage bar is way over on my side. Land. Plus this. I want to draw 2 cards here before I attack because I might find another Riddler. These are not really what I'm looking for. Do I even want a single plow? I don't think so. I don't even think I want a plow. Okay, we got 2 lands, which is unfortunate. But fortunately, I have a Brainstorm to rearrange them. I do want to go ahead and Brainstorm now. Unfortunately, that means I'm not going to get 2 lands. But like these cards are terrible, and I have the fetch up. Okay, great. So we'll put these 2 back. All right, and then I will just... I guess I'm not going to blink anything here. Oh, wait, I can blink one of theirs. Yeah, let's do that. I'm just living in fear of their Miracle. But again, I do have Stifle up. Next turn, I will minus. I'm not going to try to get fancy with Tamio. I think that's a huge mistake. They're at 8. Against a Prismatic Ending deck, you always want to minus your Tamio as soon as you get a chance. Okay, they're going to put something on top. Prismatic Ending, sure. They're dead to just this, basically. So, like, if they clear the Tamio, it's not a big deal. And I'm very happy that they're going to be drawing that. Draw a card. Okay. They might clear this, but I don't know what they're even hoping to achieve if they don't take care of that. Snapcaster Mage. I will just stuff the Pyroblast, I guess, with a Stifle, I guess. I don't know what else to do here. I think it is worth stifling. So let's go ahead and stifle that trigger. You've got a creature that will be blinked out of the way. Good game. That was pretty good. Like, that late Stifle was good. I did pitch a Stifle. I didn't believe in Stifle. And then I found another one. So, I'm sorry, but Brainstorm is a much better card on turn 6 than Stifle is. So, Force Negation is going to come in. I think the Hydroblast should come in. I think the Daisies should come out. I think some number of Stifles should probably come out too. I just don't believe in us being able to go toe-to-toe with them. Oh, is that a mistake? Brazen Borrower comes out. I think a Dress Down could work. It's not fantastic. I haven't seen the Stifle Merfolk. It may not be in there, which means they have even fewer creatures. I might want to keep 1 Squirrely Daze in, just like the Madman theory of days. There's actually a theory from like I think geopolitics or something like that. Political science. Okay, let's come in. Do we have too many lands? We do have too many lands on the draw. I'm gonna cut a basic plane so I can still win. I'll trim the basic planes because I still want to have access to lots of blue cards, and then I will play one dress down. I mean, this is something I can beat them down with. It's not nothing. I'm gonna keep it. Against control decks, you generally want to have as many threats as possible, which is why Baragorf is so good against these decks, because it's just like threat after threat, and eventually they run out of plows. So on the draw, we've got Force Negation, which is potentially very good. If we just start hard casting it, this hand's fine. Our opponent is aggressively fetching around our stifles, which is smart. They're also grabbing a basic island. That was a stifle move right there. They've got the fear. It is warranted though. I'm gonna go like this. I don't have a basic plains in my deck anymore. I didn't trim my plows, did I? I don't think so. Yeah, I just didn't bring in even more white removal. So the fact that I trimmed down to 18 lands shouldn't be a consequence here. We're gonna find our lands. I'm just gonna hold this up and make them think that I have a stifle here. This will grab a tundra and we'll pass. And I think by just like, we actually have a pretty decent hand for like control posturing, and we're on the draw, so we want to posture as control. They're not doing anything. I do think we probably go ahead and eat the Phelia out. That does give them the ability to fetch here. They can end this. They can just go get the, yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and do it. I don't want to wait forever, but making the first move is risky, especially when I'm the control role. But this will get the plow out of their hand, and then we'll have Merc, and then we'll have Force to defend Merc, and we'll also have Hydroblast up. So my goal is to like end them out of nowhere with Murktide. I think that's a very effective strategy against these Jeskai strategies. Yeah, you got that. 1 for 1. Excuse me. Okay, they're fetching now around. They're probably just going to get a mountain. Yeah. So now they've got like bulletproof mana, but they don't have double color mana. So that is just going to come out later. I think what we do here is we just play this out, and then we have Inset Brainstorm Shuffle. Yeah, I don't really have any other plays. I just need to fill up my graveyard for a Merc. 4 mana, very scary. I don't think that they have anything that like Hull Breacher or anything like that. So I'm going to go ahead and try this. I want to put this land back. I mean, this does give us the Phelia here. We could just Phelia again, and then we have double Quantum Riddler. I'm going to put back Plow and this. Yeah. And now I am going to go for the Phelia because we have Phelia, Quantum Riddler. We have Force to protect it. I don't want to get Pyroblasted. So I probably actually want that island. I haven't seen Spell Pierce out of their deck. All right, let's go get another Tundra here. Actually, I'm going to get the island just in case they have like Blood Moon, because they're like poised to Blood Moon us for massive damage. And I won't have access to white for the rest of the game if they do that. I will just let them plow because I suspect that they have Pyro and I need to be able to defend. That gives us the world's smallest Murktide, or we could just warp a Riddler. I think we get into a fight over the Murktide. Is it worth keeping this up? I think it is. This fetch. I'll most likely just fetch here. I don't care about my graveyard. I've only got 3 of these in my entire deck, and I will put enough cards in my graveyard to... I mean, I guess they could bounce somehow. All right. So I don't think that's going to do anything. I think it's just going to get removed. We've already worked through 2 of their plows. Snap would be a good card here. I'd probably force a Snap and then Hydroblast the Pyroblast. Brazen Borrower is a great card to pitch the Force here. It doesn't really do anything against their deck. I'm going to come across, and we're going to see if we can get into a fight over Snapcaster. And you might be asking, like, how do you know they have Snapcaster? Like, it's just such a good reason to keep a hand like theirs, where you do nothing. You just wait, and Snapcaster is a 2 for 1. They're taking the 4. Okay, that's good. I think at this point, I do want to go ahead and just lock in some value here. And if I get into a fight over this, I get 2 cards. They may have some crazy card like Flusterstorm or something like that here. All right, so I effectively traded. Are they going to force? I will force all day long. I'll force you back. But if you have a second Pyroblast, that's where I get blown out. They fetch the Volk. I think they have like just tons of Pyroblasts over there, and they've been very patient and haven't removed my Merc. Fetching again. Stifle's going to be very bad at this stage of the game if I draw it. Okay, so I draw trigger. You're going to let me do that? Tishana's Tidebender. Holding up the Stifle effect. So this just stops permanent loses as long as this creature. But this is not the same permanent. I think, does it lose the warp out? I think it might lose the warp out too. No, the warp is not associated with it. All right, I'm just going to let this resolve. I'm not going to force into a likely pyro. I think that'd be a game-losing play. Okay. But it does warp out. And then I can just replay it from warp. And when it comes back, it won't have that text, I don't believe. Brainstorm. So we did get them low, and we're about to start jamming Riddlers every turn. Hopefully they care about our Murktide and over-index on that. This Tishana's Tidebender represents almost zero threat to me at this point, but it could become like a threat later. It is a wizard. All right, more mana. Unfortunately, if they do the freaking wizard thing, then I probably had to force. But then I could just warp and what is this? Okay. Yeah, I think they're probably going to wizard me. And then they're going to draw the Pyroblast, which does deal with my thing. But Brazen Borrow does almost nothing against their deck. So, yeah, I think they have another Pyroblast on top, but I just can't let this happen, frankly. Okay. So they'll come in for 3. They have Pyro on top of their deck. I am still going to Riddle. I'll draw a card. Hopefully it's like a land or something. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and Riddle first. And then I can cast Ponder and get more cards if I find a land. Draw trigger, double draw. So let's think about this. Like if I Ponder and I find a land, then I can warp again. And then I'll draw like 3 cards. It'll be crazy. Let's do that. I'm going to fetch before I Ponder. And the reason is I might want to keep more than one of those cards. I think it's higher likely that I'll want to keep more than one than that I won't want to keep one. We waste. Wasteland is a land. Then I'll draw these cards, which might be useful, may not. They're probably not useful, actually, at this stage of the game. I want the land, though. Yeah, the Stifle pairs with my Force. Yeah, that's great. I'll do that. And this is just like, welcome to Fire Design 2025 is by far the best card printed in 2025, Quantum Riddler. We'll draw 3 cards here. Boom. Good luck, opponent. Good luck with that Hydroblast or Pyroblast. Like, I'm not trying to be brutal or anything, but like they are so screwed here. I don't know how they win. Because like every single turn, I'm going to be just jamming one of these. I'll force their Pyro eventually. Like I'll take this damage. Like if they have another Flame, that's going to get forced. They have a Pyro though. Okay. All right, Tamio's nice. We can just cast one out of exile, and then they Pyro it, and then we force it, and that does involve us using all of our cards. I think I just attack first and see if I can bait the Pyro, but they know what's coming. So they're 3. They may just have to do this because they're so low in life. Like, their deck does play Force and lots of other cards. They probably don't want to have to plow their own creature. Like, we just out-fire design them. This Quantum Riddler soloed their butts, unfortunately for them. Like, and they're not playing Quantum Riddler. They're playing dirtily cards like Flame of an Aura, which is just yesterday's news, in my humble opinion. They dropped a 3. All right, let's go ahead and jam. And I will force the Pyro because I've just got so many more of these waiting in the wings. So let's go ahead and pitch the Stifle, which I think is the least impactful card here. I don't have the mana to deploy it. We're in. Draw trigger. Another Force, please. Oh, a land is actually phenomenal because now we have Plow. I think we Plow now. That may seem like a contrarian play because they could top deck, but like if they get, let's see. It might actually make sense to Ponder here because Ponder gives us potential for Force of any kind. Like Force of Will, Force of Negation. Either of those would be great. And I don't need this Tamio anymore. There we go. So we will just take these in this exact order. And then we force and we draw extra cards. We get 2 cards for our turns. And I have no idea how they're going to deal with these Riddlers that are inbound. I'm just going to force this. Again, like I get 2 cards for it. They have 1 more card. It could be like a Hardcast Force they scoop. Brutal. Like, I mean, damn. I did not expect this brew to just go crush for 3-0. Round 4. We're 3-0. We're up against an unknown opponent with a double Tamio hand on the play. Come on. Where do I get this luck? Like, how do I reserve some of this luck for actual, like, important events and stuff? We've been incredibly lucky this league. Yeah, I'm going to just open with my Tamiyo, and I can, of course, defend it because Tamiyo is just like a dumb magic card that they never should have printed. Like, I almost feel guilty, but then I remember I'm up against like other people that are playing like Oops All Spells, and like my poor round 3 opponent just trying to win fair and square. Sucker. No, I'm just joking. That's usually me. Yeah. Okay, and we got our basic land. We've got our Tamiyo. We've got our days. I'll actually let him kill the first Tamiyo and just play a second one. Gaddock Geek. A reference to Gaddock Teague, of course. Classic, iconic magic card of yore that may very well be in my opponent's deck. What are we doing here? I don't want them to know about the Wasteland, so I think this is just like a go for it type thing. And I'll, at the very least, have a clue. So we don't want to land next turn. What do we want, though? I think the main issue is we don't know what we're up against. We want to fill up our yard for this Merc. Brainstorm would be good, so we could potentially shuffle away. Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and ponder. Stifle seems pretty freaking sweet here. And I'll just let that force go because I'm already on the Stifle Days Wasteland train. Like this is the combo right here. We're a combo deck. And our combo is Stifle Wasteland Days. They're not fetching. Okay, double basic Windswept Heath. They're not a Yorion deck. I'm very intrigued as to what they're doing, and I'll happily draw those cards that are left on top here. I will just go to combat and see if I can get them to fetch, because I do want them to fetch a non-basic that I can remove. Okay, they're just letting me have my cards, which is pretty cool. I am going to play at the Wasteland, which is going to raise the alarm. And not raise the alarm like a Bowmasters does. So the card that gets pitched here is the Redundant Tamiyo. I think this is just a Stifle. And now they might be color screwed if they're playing more than one color. I'll let that go. Basic Plains. Basic Forest. Okay. This is Gaddock Teague. Destiny Spinner. They're on Enchantress. So this can be countered, even though subsequent ones can't. I think I just go ahead and fetch, and then I can just bounce a card back to my hand and counter this. I don't want them to have this. So just to be utterly clear here, it does not say creatures, so it itself is not uncounterable. I hope I'm not misreading that. I am very hyped to be playing against Enchantress. And I'm just going to go ahead and get my clue here. I love Enchantress. I used to play it. I had like beta wild growths and stuff like that. I gave them to my friend because my friend was like maining Enchantress, and he was a material science engineer at UC Santa Barbara. All right. Let's go ahead and attack UC Santa Barbara, California. Okay. Used to live in California. Now I'm in Texas. Just like, 90% of the people here in Texas are former Californians. Not 90, but it's a lot. Okay. Let's go ahead and drop the Tundra here. And I don't see any urgency to flip, but I do want to get a threat on the table. So let's do that. Merc. And if they play Sarah's Sanctum or something like that, we can take that out. Like they may not have more lands. I can force to protect this. This will kill them. One card that they should be playing, because it's absolutely insane, is Elephant Grass. Wild Growth. Got it. Static Prison. I mean, this is going to come back. This is an enchantment. I'm just worried that they have like Replenish or something like that, and I need to force that. Yeah, I'll let them take the Merc, and then I'm just going to keep drawing cards. And like, I understand that the long game favors them, but they have no other. Okay, and they don't have a land, as far as I can tell. So Stifle would be a great draw here. I might want to go ahead and flip Tommy here. I think I do just flip her, because they're like, I'm looking for proactive cards now. I mean, I just let them have that, but again, I want to be careful and not do something dumb. So let's go ahead and brainstorm. Okay, Prismatic Ending to get our Merc back is not nothing, and it does remove a permanent. So I'll put back Tamiyo. I am going to want to fetch to shuffle these cards away. I could also just get rid of this and let this go naturally. I think that's actually correct. So that means I can hang on to... Yeah, I'll just go like this. I don't need this. I will Riddle next turn. And it may seem weird that I am Prismatic Ending a Wild Growth in 2026, but like I feel very confident that this is the correct play, considering it decreases their enchantment count, and it also plays into our days. Okay, you've got a couple more turns of keeping my Merc in prison. By the way, if I find a second Merc, I could cast it and grow that and immediately hit him hard. Sterling Grove. This is going to be a daze. Did I forget to play a freaking land last turn? I think I did. All right, Sterling Grove is very good. Okay, so we're just restricting their mana, and we're going to keep going north with Tommy. Yeah, but like, I mean, drawing a Ponder is not that bad. I think this is probably just Warp Riddler. The card on top, if I recall, is not something useful, so I'll just fish it away and then I'll warp. They almost certainly have like Choke in probably not their main deck, so I'm not going to respect it, but like it is something that I want to respect later. Let's go ahead and warp this, and then I can just cast it in like 2 turns. Maybe I did play a land. I don't think I played a land. Okay, so this is going to warp out. We don't have anything going on except for this Force, which I do want to reserve for like some really strong card like Replenish. I don't want to just counter some mediocre card. Like even the chick that draws a bunch of cards, I don't know that we necessarily got for that. Actually, if they do cast Replenish, it's not a big deal at this point. Yeah. And because I've played this deck a whole lot, I feel pretty confident, like not in its current composition, but in how it's likely composed in the future. So this is precisely the situation I was talking about where I've got a Murktide next turn. So this turn, I'm just going to crack some clues, and then I'll Murk and they'll both grow. Yeah, I'm just going to... I don't need to Tomio Ultimate. I can just regrow the days, keep them at bay. I think that's fine because they could like Static Prison and take it out, and I don't want to force that. So yeah, we'll do that. And because their mana is so low, and because they make such heavy use of their mana, this is like practically the same as a Force. All right, so that dies. I would like my Dragon back. And next turn, you're going to be taking a lot of damage from it. They scoop. Yeah, they don't even know that we were about to... I'm that guy in the party. Like, they don't even know that I had a second dragon. Okay. Looking at the people dancing. Sorry, terrible meme. This is like Wrath of the Skies, for sure. Prismatic Ending seems quite good here. Force Negation seems quite good. Plow can't even target any of their creatures, generally. Like, it technically can target the chick that they had that makes enchantments uncounterable. Dress Down, actually... No, we don't need Dress Down. I don't think it can be good, but let's talk about what we don't need. Brazen Borrow actually might be useful. Is it going to be useful? I don't think it's likely to be useful. I don't think Daze is good. Stifle actually might be all right. Oh, I'm torn. I do want to keep my threats in because this is another control deck. And frankly, we got very lucky pairing into like a pretty low power level deck, in my humble opinion. Yeah, I want to take out the Dazes here. They're going to have tons of mana. Let's do it. Consign is something we could consider, but like I've already got 4 Stifles. I don't want to go overboard. Consign is just a wimpier Stifle that has like a upside of being able to smash an Eldrazi player. This is a great hand. I'm going to keep it. Like we just need interaction. Wrath, we'll need to eventually get the mana for that. Let them have that. I'm going to let them my plan is to just Wrath and then win. So I just need to find planes, and I'll play this out just for a distraction. It might get a clue. We may not even have time to cash in the clue before the Wrath. We probably will though, because we got to find 2 planes. If they choke here, I will definitely force. Green Sun for 2. This gets their Enchantress Lady. I think it's correct to just do this. I mean, we blow it up with Wrath, but like they could run away with the game in the meantime. Yeah, I'm just going to force negate it. Also, this keeps it from shuffling back into the deck, which is nice. I'll put back the Brainstorm. Well, actually, Brainstorm might be useful if I need to flip her. So I'll put back the Ponder. And they're tapped out, so we don't have to worry about Veil, which might be in their deck. They have to fit a lot of enchantments in there. Wasteland doesn't do anything here, so I'm definitely going to just Ponder. Maybe I do want to Brainstorm, but like it would be pretty humiliating. I think I want to keep her around for another turn cycle. Like people are very quick to... I mean, I do have this I could play out, but like if I find... Yeah, I'm going to try to find a white source. Perfect. Brazen Borrower, probably not what we want. I do want the Quantum Riddler just because it's like a blue card for Force and it's like something I can do. I can like actually play it out and then warp it. Okay, we'll chill. If they try to remove Tomio, I can always go fetch a Tundra and then react. But that does maybe leave me without Force up. Okay, now I can tap for green, which is little consequence here. Enchantress' presence. This is so high curve that it will be hard for me to stop it. I think I force here just because this could like open to the torrent and I might get blown out as a result. I'm going to play a Wasteland this turn cycle. Yeah, like if you stop the Enchantresses, their deck's pretty unimpressive. So I am going to draw the big dude. Play this. Check this out. We're going to go get a Tundra. We're going to really hope that they don't have choke because it's devastating. But wait, I can get a Plains? I'll just get the Plains and we'll chill just because I don't want to get completely choked out. And I think it's a very high likelihood that our opponent has choke. So I'm going to draw 2 cards. So I want to attack first, and then I flip my Tomio off of Quantum Riddler, and all is well in the universe. Let's go ahead and do this. Blue, white, Riddle, double draw. Pretty good cards. I'm still looking for that white source. Plus, let's take their land. Just to restrict their mana a little bit. Like, that's what the name of the game is at this point. We need to buy time until we get to Wrath. If they achieve like escape velocity, we'll be really far behind. You have to respect the fact that that's like how they win. They get tons of permanents on the table and rein them in where you can. They don't have a land drop. This is phenomenal. They may have some 4 drops or something in their hand. And well, I think we regrow the Force. I don't think that's a hard decision. I could actually, yeah, I'll regrow the Force because I've got another Tomio in hand. And then I'm just going to go ahead and ponder and try to find a land, and then I can crack a clue. There we go. Perfect. I don't need this Murktide ever. Brazen Borrower might be okay. I'll take this Tundra. Unfortunately, I'm a victim of my own success. I've kept the board so clear that there's nothing for me to do here. All right, so I can draw, and then we'll hopefully just play something out and I can Wrath. I can always regrow the Wrath with Tomio and re-Wrath. It's just really good. I don't think it's worth Wrathing just to get 1 permanent. Let's go ahead and draw. So these clues were actually fine, after all. I think this is probably just Merc. A plus. Let's deploy the Merc. And this is a good clock. Next turn we can regrow something else. If we get into a Force fight, we can just regrow the Force and we'll have Force fodder. They scoop. It's devastating. We're 4-0. Like, only losing 1 freaking game. This is a real deck, I think. Right, we're up against an aggro deck most likely. This player is pretty good. I've definitely played them and lost to them before. I am going to be getting basics here. I am going to open with Island Ponder, and I'm going to try to hold my days for something like important. But I think they're on a blue-black tempo deck, like the Aquatex of Will Nethergoyf deck, which that's what they've been playing, and it's pretty good. But it's an aggro deck, and we have Wrath of the Skies in the sideboard for that. But I'm not going to tempt fate with a Tundra here. The reason I'm playing so many basics is to be able to just switch to basics if I need to. I mean, these are good. These are very good against an aggro deck. We just need to find a white source. The Thoughtseize us. The main problem is we may not find a white source, but we've got the Wasteland. I'm going to keep these. I think they're good. I'm going to keep the cantrip. I don't know. Because like I don't want them to Thoughtseize my Phelia. They may leave the Riddler. I can't imagine them leaving Riddler if they Thoughtseize me though. Underground Sea. Dark Ritual. All right. You gonna try to Doomsday me, friend? Not today. I'll hold my Force for later. Or for now. They're forcing my days. I'll let that resolve, and then I'm gonna force the Doomsday. We will pitch Brainstorm. Is that correct? Yeah. Please don't have a double Force. Okay, we got it. Now I just waste them, and it'll take them a while to rebuild. And that lets us draw these cards that are very good. They kept on the strength of a turn 1 protected Doomsday, but they didn't expect us to have double protection. Ha ha! I know I'm super obnoxious, but I just want to win. What the heck? Bayou. Okay, that doesn't even tap for blue. All right. This is the Ponder, and we're going to try to find a Force. There we go. Freaking insane. So next turn is Phelia. The turn after that is Quantum Riddler. The turn after that is them dead. I am so happy. Like, this is absolutely insane. They don't have days up. If they are able to do something here, like I have so much covered. They don't have a land. Okay. I have so many different angles covered with this plow in my hand and this Force. They could draw a daze. I think it's worth just playing this out main phase just because days. I don't think they're going to have a Fatal Push. Like I just would, it'd be really humiliating if they like go land days. That would suck so bad. So we're drawing a blue card, I believe, that pairs with our force. Perfect. Welcome to the Warp Zone. Believe that's, I would like my cards and I would like even extra cards. Thank you. I had an insane hand. My opponent scoops. We're on Doomsday. We're one game from victory here. They turboed us, and I think they will try to turbo us again. I think force negation is warranted here. People always say, bring in consign against Doomsday. That's a mistake. You don't do that. There will be situations where somebody does that, and then they're like, oh, see, Be Excellent's dumb because he doesn't bring in... No, don't do it. Trust me. It's not good. Because like the only situation is like you've made it through the entire game, and they haven't taken your Thoughtseize your consign out. Otherwise, your consign does literally nothing. Okay, I'll get off my soapbox. I'm going to focus on winning here. So, Dress Down, very good against Thassa's Oracle. Also very good against Baragorf. We do need to make some changes to our deck. Quantum Riddler is quite good, but is it necessary? That is the question we need to be asking ourselves. Also, which variant of Doomsday? There's so many. There's no one list. Brazen Borrower is pitches to force its interaction. I don't want to cut the plows. I want to respect, but I don't need this prismatic game. That is the first cut. Okay, what else are we cutting? We need 3 more cuts. I think we could cut some Riddlers. They're unlikely to be able to stop Murktide. Yeah, I think we just cut some Riddlers here. I could cut a land. I'm going to keep the Daisies in, but I will cut my Plains. I don't think that's necessary. And then I can bring a Riddler back in. And I think we're golden. Like the situations that scare me are Tamio. Like I'm keeping all my Stifles, all my Days, everything. Like this is not the Nightmare matchup. The Nightmare matchup for Doomsday. Oh, this is a great freaking hand. Great hand. But I'm not going to let them know that it's a great hand. I'm going to think because like sometimes when you have a weak hand, you want to snap keep because then you're like, projecting confidence. But I want to project the opposite of confidence here because I actually want them to go all in on a Doomsday. Delta, pass. Okay, well, Stifle is going to see to it that you do not have a good day. I like it. I like it a lot. Let's go ahead and play this out. And if I play the Tundra, then we don't have to worry about them being able to fetch and do stuff around it. I think I just play the Tundra and pass. I don't think they can do anything around it, but yeah, that would suck. Their deck is extremely light on lands. They may have Days to protect the fetch from Stifle. Carpet. I don't like this. This gives them lots of mana, which like my entire position is deny the mana. I'm going to pitch a Ponder here. Okay. Not doing anything. I'm just going to keep my Stifle mana up. They don't know that I'm playing Stifle, but they may suspect it. I didn't show it to them last game. Now we've got double Stifle up. We'll just pass. We can pay for Days if we need to force. They're being very disciplined about not fetching. I think they suspect that I have a... Tamio is annoying, but I can't do anything about her. Wow, they're just being so disciplined. I definitely admire what my opponent's doing here. I think what I do here is I do Brainstorm, but they could have Bowmasters. I'm going to wait and I'm going to Ponder. Force is a great draw, but we need to deal with Tamio. I do have my plows in. I'm going to fetch first. Get a second white source in case they have Wasteland. Sometimes they do play Wasteland. I'll Ponder. Trying to find a Wasteland of my own. I think it's fine to just play land and Tamio here. But I can't. I can only play one. I want to make my land drop and I'll play the Tamio next turn. And then we'll just try to... Like, they're going to be valuing, but I can value even harder. Now I've got double Stifle up, which will stop the actual trigger if they attempt to win here. I can Tamio... Like, even if Tamio gets all the way up, I actually actively hope they flip Tamio because then I can... They're not going to have as many clues. They're just playing so patiently. I love it. Like, I admire their play. I think they're doing absolutely what they're supposed to do here. We'll play our Tamio out. This is like very high level Magic. This is the Magic I'm here for. They are ahead. They have this engine. I do not have one. Crack a clue. I can't interact. They see what the game is about, and it's about outvaluing me. They know that like I pivoted toward basically stopping their combo, and that like I didn't really plan for a world in which Tamio is running loose. They may think that I even boarded out my removal, but I do not board out my removal against Doomsday generally. I took out a land, which seems to have been a good decision. And what else did I take out? Oh, I took out some Quantum Riddlers. Ponder's fine. I hope to get into a force fight over one of these cards that are not true, that are trivial, like the Stifles. Or even like a Double Daze or something would be good. They shuffle. They draw a random card. They pass. What a freaking total chat over there. Like, just, yeah. Man after my own heart. A match after my own heart. Since that's their username. Okay. All right. And I do think this is a ponder. I got lots of gas here. I want to make my land drop. I want to find a Wasteland. There we go. Hell yeah. And these are great cantrips too. Like our deck is giving us the goods. So we'll take the ponder next turn, but the Wasteland is happening now. And in this case, you always go after the blue sources. They might be able to cycle. They don't. Right. We'll pass. I can't crack this clue in the end step because I need to keep days up or stifle up rather. I would be surprised if they have another land. They do have another land. Okay. All right. We're not going to be able to lock them off. They're going to keep getting their cards. This is like, people complain about Tamio, but she's a high skill card. Like what you're looking at is a very high skill opponent, and this is like a very complicated game. Okay, so they know I have freaking, like, why wouldn't I be doing it? Why wouldn't I have cracked a clue there, right? They know I have something. I think Phelia is a worthy play. I will take this days for sure. I don't want to play Phelia into days. I'm just going to take the days now, and then I'll Phelia next turn. And we're just going to keep amassing clues. And what's going to happen is they're not going to have the mana to exploit all their clues, and I am, because I'm going to run them out of lands eventually. Eventually, I'm going to find my Wastelands. And they're just being so patient. This fetch, I think they played at turn 1. We're now in like turn 8 or something. That's fine. So their Howling Mine is continuing to be active. Mine is not active because I don't have enough land. I have to stop a carpet if they have another carpet. That's like a must stop. And I'm very happy that I stopped it. Like it would be a huge mistake not to stop it. And the second that I take my foot off the gas for even a second for the Stifle, they are going to come in with that fetch. And they know that this game is all about mana. That's fine. So I guess they've gotten enough clues and they want to actually win now. But they don't realize how rolled up I am over here. They may suspect. I want to give them credit. They're going to have to go to discard here. Nope, they're not going to have to go to discard. They have another card that we want to play out. They're actually in an extremely good position if they want to like Dark Ritual Doomsday here. I may not be able to stop it, even with my hand. I have blue cards. Oh, no, wait, I have a Tamio or a Phelia on top. I am kind of worried about Baragoyf. I would have to force that. I'd have to use my more flexible force spell to stop a Baragoyf if they've buried here. Yep, that's going to come in. Gosh, and like this Stifle is looking really bad now. But if I attack with Phelia, this flips over. I might go ahead and attempt to flip my Tamio here anyway, because it's giving me a lot of value. I've got tons of clues. I need to find land now. Yeah, let's go ahead and just brainstorm. Okay, there's the Phelia. I didn't find land. That's a bummer. I don't want to cast Phelia into a potential daze here and have to defend her. I'm just going to keep all my blue cards up, and I think actually like they have enough mana that ship has sailed. I need a pivot. This is the critical point at which like I need to pivot over to like I'm going to protect my Tamio, and you probably can't stop my Tamio, but I can stop yours. Yeah, this is a really interesting game. Like it's crazy that they're actually ahead of me on mana. And they've just been so disciplined with that fetch. They know I have the Stifle. Nothing else is explained. But they also can't minus... they can minus Tamio here, and that's probably what they should do. But they're going to keep plussing. So next turn, I think I am actually just going to crack here in the end step, because I do need to get deeper into my deck, and I'm going to let them get their mana. They didn't attack. I think they misclicked. I can't imagine that makes sense. Okay, so... At this point, they're going to do something post-combat. What is this? Well, I can't stop that. Okay, and now I shall draw a card. It's a Phelia. They're fetching because they can fetch now. They may have a Bowmaster here. But if they had Bowmaster, why would they care? Okay. All right. So here, I think I do have to brainstorm. I need more cards. I need to find specifically a land. If I don't find a land, I'm in trouble. Okay, Wasteland is actually just going to be a land here. Gosh, this is a lot of forces. So I can play up Phelia, and they may have double days at this point. They've seen a lot of cards. I've got one more turn before the ultimate, and I'll have to get into a force fight over that. I could hold up a Hardcast Force, but like realistically, they're going to be able to daze. I do want to get Phelia on this turn. So I think I just go like this. It's crazy that I've got all 4 forces. And I'm going to go ahead and play this out now, which I know is kind of crazy, but like I don't want to go to discard. And this tells them what they need to beat. They just need to regrow that Abrupt Decay, actually. Yeah, if they just regrow Abrupt Decay, they kill it, and I'm in trouble. I can stifle the regrowth effect. I'm not in a good position. They've got all their colors. There's nothing I can do to like interfere with their mana anymore. If they do a carpet, I'll just let them. Yeah, so I have to stifle the regrowth. Okay, interesting. They're opting not to do that. They may have another Abrupt Decay in hand. Dark Ritual. If they Doomsday, I actually might like let that go. Unfortunately, I do need to fight this. They could have Force of Negation, so I'm going to hang on to... I'll pitch a Force of Negation here, and I'll hang out a Daze. I think they probably should have attempted that before they Beargoyfed. I think they missequenced there. They are going to create a clue. They have the ability to crack those clues and recoup. They just 2-for-1 me. Probably not a huge deal. I am going to be able to hopefully reset this. But if they have a second Abrupt Decay, there's nothing I can do. Man, this game is freaking off the hook. One of the most exciting games I've played all week. And I play a lot of Magic. If you've watched my channel, you know that. Okay, so we're going to draw a card here. It is a known card, I believe. This is the Abrupt Decay. Nothing I can do about this. All right, so we'll draw our card. I'm still pretty far from a land, but I have triple force. Unfortunately, I just have to pass, and we'll stifle the Tamio attempt. I feel very confident that if they Tamio ultimate, like I'm screwed. So I'll just let this happen. Yeah, because I've got double stifle. And I've actually got another force on top of my deck if I need it, which is kind of cool. But like, I don't think we win by, you know, we just have a single stifle and we protect that. And they probably won't even go until they find another Thoughtseize, or they could re-row a Thoughtseize, which would be pretty strong. But yeah, like that would 2-for-1 me. I'm going to draw 2 clues here. I think I have another Tamio on top. They've got so many clues. If we stop enough of their win cons, they may just not be able to win. I don't think that's likely, though. Unfortunately, I am going to need to force this. And they'll probably try to get into a force fight now over this. Huh, they're 2 turns away. Should I just let them take it? There is a world in which I find a second stifle, or I just find another Phelia. Because they're 2 turns away from being able to ultimate again. I think I do force, since I have a force on top, and they know about the days, that's not going to do anything. They may force back, or even fluster or something. I could pay for fluster. Okay, that resolved. They're going to be able to do that every single turn. It's pretty devastating. I need a game plan. All right, let's draw. And I'll just draw again. All right, land. Love to see it. That gives me Hardcast Force, which probably... Oh, that's nice. So we don't do anything proactive here. We just sit, which sucks because they're amassing value while I'm sitting. I can let them Thoughtseize me again, though. It's fine. Yeah, I think we're going to lose this game, unfortunately. We have our mana under this, though. So, I mean, there's that. We could find like a... We only have, I think, one big guy in the deck. But if I find a Merc, they're unlikely to be able to deal with that. I'm going to actually let them Thoughtseize me here. Sure. I drew another one. They've got 8 cards in hand. I will just hardcast a force on like a Beargoyf or something if they try to bury here. I'll actually force anything. Yeah, I will just attempt to force this. And they're going to daze it, of course. But I need to be mana efficient. And then I'll probably just force back, sadly. Because this is like not a card that I'm equipped to beat right now. And I can't guarantee that my deck is going to produce an answer. They know that I pitched my daze that I had. So this is just like a daze. They're definitely going to have dazes. I'll let that get countered. And then I think, gosh, they have so many freaking cards. We're just dead if we don't find a plow. If we find a plow, but we'll have to force to like stop that too. Yeah, sadly, I think this is the stifle that gets pitched here. And I can't believe we're losing this game. I thought I played it correctly, but I didn't. We stopped it. Okay. They actually may not have that many win cons left in their deck. They are not... I'm actually deeper into my deck than they are on theirs. But that'll probably change. They still have the ultimate with Tamio. I've got one more stifle in my entire deck. 6 cards in hand. Ponder. And they're very careful. They shuffle. At this point, Doomsday is a good card if they draw it. Like, I only have one layer of protection here. And it was definitely correct for me to do what I did. I'm not going to show them that I have an island. Like, I think our odds of winning are sub 10% here because they just have so much value. But we could draw some insane thing and they may not be able to fight it. But they just have so many clues. And they already have so many cards in their hand. I have to let that resolve. They're going to come across. I can't think. Like, if I plow, I can cast a Force of Negation to protect it. That's all I can do. But if this starts connecting, we're almost certainly dead. I'm not even going to bother. Good game. Okay, so I want this trophy very hard. I don't want anybody to think that's a premature concession, but you have to understand, like, we were not going to win that. Okay, so we get to be on the play again. Prismatic Ending. I mean, if they're going to be playing Baragwaif, I can't hit Baragwaif with this. Wrath of the Skies would have hit their clues. And, I mean, if they're playing, yeah, maybe this does come in. I don't know. It doesn't feel right. Brazen Borrower is an answer to Phelia, or Tamio, but it's also a blue card that we can pitch to Force. I think I'm just going to play it like this. I'm not going to bring in the land. I think Force Negation. My opponent said, intense game. And that was a great game. I don't know that Force, like, they're going to try to, if they try to turbo, they're doing so to their own detriment. I think I'm going to bring in the Riddler just because, like, that is something that can kind of break parity a little bit. I don't think they're playing Bowmaster. We didn't see it. And we saw a lot of cards and they had tons of opportunities to Bowmaster. And they know we're not playing Bowmaster, so they know they don't have to hold their Bowmaster. This is a reluctant mulligan. I need interaction. This is a keep. So all we need is, I'll put back the plow. I think it has to be plow because we've got these nice blue cards if we get into a force fight. If they Tamio, I probably just have to daze it. Yeah, because I want Phelia for sure. She's how I win. I'm not going to take a land out of my deck. I'm just not going to do anything here. Yeah, like, my opponent should be very proud that they were able to beat my deck. Like, this is not a favorable matchup for them. They were able to basically skill delta me. I think they played tighter than I did, and that's probably why they won. There were certain cards that I needed to draw that I didn't. Come on, land. All right, I will take it. We'll pass their instep, and then we'll Phelia. I don't want to tap out if they Doomsday. That's a sweet-looking swamp. Look at those Foot Clan. 8 cards in the grip. Okay, they don't have Daze mana. Carpet, I just grabbed the plains and denied the mana. I think I do have to get because I need a Quantum Riddler. Quantum Riddler will be so good here. They don't have Daze. It's fine. I am in a Tundra. And this is why you play dual lands. Like, situations like this. Like, if I wasn't playing dual lands, I would not be able to do what I did where I was able to get the Phelia out and then get out the Riddler the subsequent turn. So this will be a force if they have interaction, but they don't. Plow. Not really what I'm looking for. I will have to force to defend this, and then I'll be reduced to needing a blue card off one of these 2 cards that I'm going to see. But this is so strong that I think it is a force. I think we are going to win. That's great. That is phenomenal. Okay. And now we have even Daze protected. Like, we're just doing the thing. I think part of this, I can't remember if we were on the play. I think we were on the play. That was a huge part of us winning game 1, and it's going to be a huge part of us winning game 3. And I am saying winning game 3 with relative confidence. I think we're probably at least 70% here. Another Riddler. So we've got double force now. They do get extra mana here. That's worth noting. If they Doomsday, they're actually going to take so much damage that they die. So they can't really Doomsday. They can Merc. That doesn't do it. They're low in life. Brainstorm, sure. Use up your mana. If they bury, I just have the plow for it. I will... Oh, they don't have Daze mana. Or they don't have a land for Daze. I think that's what they're looking for, is a land to allow for Daze. But they may have actually taken out some number of Dazes. They do have the land for Daze now. Fetching. Come on, bury me. Ponder. Okay, this is even better. Because what's happening is now we pass into their turn. I don't even know that Barry does it. Consider. Sure. They're filling up their yard, but they don't have double blue for Merc. Merc isn't going to arrive on time, I don't think. And I can always just push Merc out of the way with Phelia. I think I want to draw 2 cards here. Yeah, I'm going to draw 2 cards. I have double force up. Well, only 1 force is active this turn. Stifle. That's a sick rip. I'd like to draw a land here. What a freaking league. We only lost 2 games. I can't imagine a sequence. I'll be incredibly crushed. It'll be like people will be like screen grabbing, like, holy cow, how did Be Excellent lose from this position? If I lose from here, but there's like this subreddit, premature celebration. I don't want to end up there. All right. And yeah. So we've got like just like this inassailable, like there's no way they get through all this. Fetch to 5. Even like a giant merc, like I can't think of anything that would do it. Dark Ritual. Doomsday. I do think we fight. There's no reason to let this resolve. Like they're like if we let them resolve it, there's risk. I'll pitch a merc. They brainstorm. Like at the very least, I'm tying up resources so that they are less likely to be able to win. Because they're gonna have to make a no pass the turn pile. And they do have a lot of cards that they're looking at. Like I guess that's how they win, is they somehow force through this Doomsday. And they have like some crazy LED line. Good games! Trophy! Yeah! Oh my goodness, that felt amazing. This deck was great. Like I've been playing all like freaking control-y. Like just put the freaking tempo in. Like it seems weird. It seems weird, and I did this on my own account, so I get to keep the money. Yeah. I have like MTGO gives me an account that I can experiment with new cards, but I own all these cards. These are all cards near and dear to my heart. So, man, let's decompress. Okay, so I've been playing with the notion that like Stifle sucks. Days sucks right now, but like they were pretty insane the entire league. My basic like thought process has been, okay, you want the games to go long. So if the games are going to go long, then like Stifle and Days are like terrible top decks and stuff like that. And this could be a fluke that I could have just gotten exceptionally lucky, but like I challenge you, find flaws in my play. Like I actually really want you to surface things where I'm like misunderstood or where I'm doing things even like slightly suboptimally. I really appreciate that sort of stuff. Even though this was a commanding run, if I may say so myself, and this brew is freaking phenomenal. I've seen people doing lots of stuff around this. Obviously, like the, I think second place at Eternal Weekend Asia was somebody who was jamming Stifles, but I don't think they went hard with the tempo like I did. I think I max tempoed. You can't go harder with tempo than this. I guess you could put Spell Pierce, and I did consider putting a Spell Pierce in the Prismatic Ending slot, and that actually might not have been that bad. Gosh, I don't know what to say. I want to shout out Randy, the lawyer from Boardwalk Games, who crushed me with freaking Stifle last night. I was on my Back to Basics control deck, which I almost always play in paper because it just feels so good. Like, just to recap last night, if you're curious, I went up against an extremely skilled Jeskai player, Austin, and beat him like twice in a row. He didn't win a game. And then we also played a third game and I won that. And that's no commentary on his skill. It's just Bowmasters is absolutely devastating for their Wizards. It was very similar to the Wizards deck that we played against today. Although I don't think he plays Tishana's Tidebender. So I beat that. And then I also beat like a person who's playing Mono White Humans, who's relatively new to the game, but played pretty well, all things considered. And then I played against Randy, and I'm like, when you're playing Back to Basics control, you do not expect Stifle to like completely wreck you, but it completely wrecked me because I kept hands based on like, okay, I've got a fetch. This fetch goes and grabs my swamp. Oh, I can't play my swamp anymore. And I also punted. But Randy was able to get like an early Quantum Riddler. And I didn't have, I was on a Fatal Push deck, so I had to go find my Snuff Out. And I did eventually find Snuff Out, but it was too late. Quantum Riddler drawn like 4 or 5 cards. And Randy had gotten Tomio flipped. And like, so it was just like a commanding victory. I did win one of the games. But I think it was like after we lost like the pity game where you're like, please let me play again. Even though you just 2-0'd me. I can't remember. I might have won. No, I think he 2-0'd me. And I think like Stifle's just like secretly really good right now. And like everybody's hating on it. Bosch and Roll loves to hate on this card. And there's like, I hate on it too, because I think it sucks, but apparently it doesn't suck. Apparently it's really good. So like, I don't know. Like I think Stifle would be good in like a traditional Canadian Threshold deck where you've got like powerful turn 1 threats like Nimble Mongoose or like Delver Secrets or even like DRC or this might actually be good in the Bobble deck that plays like I never really seriously considered it from a mono blue Bobble deck that plays Storm Chaser talent stuff, but like it actually might be really freaking good there. Maybe I should play that. Maybe, okay, I'll try that. I'm going to resolve to test whether Stifle is actually secretly good. And I'll play my mono blue bauble deck that I haven't played in a few months just because like I had fun with it. But you know me, I'm like mercurial. I love jumping from deck to deck and sucking with lots of different decks, right? So the fact that like I just picked this up, like I literally brewed this morning and I was going to go work. Because I can work asynchronously and just get my work done whenever. So like I was like, I could go and get a bunch of work done, or I could see if Randy's onto something real quick. So I still have to go do a bunch of work. So it's kind of like a Pyrrhic victory because like it's not quite yet time for me to like really relax, but like I can relax knowing, hey, I got 2 trophies in 1 week, one with Helm and now one with Stifle. So man, like this was fun to play. There's a lot of optionality. I don't know that Brazen Borrower is necessary. But Prismatic Ending sucks when you're only at 2 colors, and I do think we need more removal. So, like, Brazen Borrower is good in a tempo deck. Also, the reason this is in is, let's say hypothetically your opponent has some card like, they managed to get Hellbent and they have like Ensnaring Bridge out or something. Like, it is nice having a card that you can Tomio Ultimate to that will just win the game for you, right? And if you don't have Brazen Borrower, you can get into situations where you just can't win, which really sucks. So like Brazen Borrower is just, there are just lots of random kind of permanents out there. And if the game goes long enough, you can Tomio Ultimate, get your Borrower, bounce that permanent out, and then you can like force it on the way back down. Or you can just Alpha Strike them. Like Murktide is perfectly capable of Alpha Striking. I think the key innovation here is like, yes, we're like playing 2-drop creatures instead of course, the best tempo creature ever printed. We've got that in there. But we don't have a lot of early pressure. But I think the reason why Stifle works here is because it just screws up your opponent while you're accumulating clues. And we saw that time and time again. Like we were able to mana screw our Enchantress opponent and just build up an army of clues. And it just kind of like keeps you in the early game for long enough that you can get card advantage, not necessarily win. So in Delver, you're trying to win before they can assemble themselves. But with this deck, you're just trying to get insurmountable card advantage before they can win, if that makes sense. So this is still a very much a tempo deck. Obviously, we're maxing tempo, but it doesn't play like a tempo deck. It plays like a control deck where your goal is not to win. Your goal is just to amass advantage. So you're still amassing advantage and winning on like turn 8 or 9, like a normal control deck. But what's happening during those early turns is your opponent's not doing anything. And you are the one who's like drawing, like kind of like our Doomsday opponent did in game 2 of round 5. That is my theory. Like I would love somebody who's played a ton of Legacy. Like if anybody's in like the Bosch and Roll community or something like that, like haven't watched this league, I would love to understand why Stifle's good here. It feels like Stifle should suck. Actually, I might DM Bosch and just ask him if he can watch this. I know he's a busy dude, but like I would really love, because he and I are both of the shared opinion that this is generally like a bad top deck, that Daze is a bad top deck, that Daze doesn't belong in 2-drop or 5-drop decks, you know? But like Pokimoki, whom I also might send this to, often plays, you know, kind of tempo-oriented beans, which seems totally counterintuitive. Why would you play tempo in your beans? But like that was the breakout deck, like of like basically an entire year. When Beans came out, Pokimoki optimized it and found out, no, it's actually blue-black green instead of blue-white green. That is the best version of the deck. And that may have changed now that we have, you know, Quantum Riddler and Phelia combo and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't know how many times like we got Phelia out, and it seems like it takes forever because you're playing Phelia on turn 2 or even turn 3. Your opponent's turn, like at the end of your opponent's turn, before your turn 4, basically, because you want a Daze Protector, have interaction up and stuff like that. And then turn 4, you're playing out your Riddler, and then you're warping. But like in that final game, we just saw like, how do you ever come back from that? It is basically like a GG moment against most fair decks, not necessarily combos. And our opponent did have like a YOLO attempt to Doomsday there at the end, but that was like Desperation Doomsday, and we already won the game. And this is an important notion, like when does the game actually end versus when does the game actually become decided? And I would say the advantage bar swung so far in our favor in that final game after we warped Riddler and then blinked it with Phelia, that we were like 80 to 90% to win the game, even though there was still some game to be played. And that's just one of those play patterns that, like, you know, just like this is why you play these cards. This is why this is viable, is early Phelia. Or, in theory, what Randy did to me last night, which I didn't do during the league because I hate throwing away value, but Riddlering and then stifling the warp trigger and just getting early Riddler, which of course dies to Plow, dies to like lots of removal, and then you kind of like, you got a card from Riddler, but you don't get any additional cards. But if you're near Hellbent, that could be a good play because then you get 2 cards immediately if Riddler survives through the round, right? Or if you got a Force, then they untap, they try to Plow around days, and then you Force and you go down to 1 card, and then you go to your turn and you draw 2 cards instead of 1, and you're up 2 cards now instead of just, or like technically you're up 1 card because you use the Stifle to get the Riddler in play, but then you're hitting them for 4 and you've got this persistent, extremely powerful effect. So yeah, lots of thoughts here. A lot of people have been commenting like, hey, I don't care about budget decks. Like I just want to see you play like the deck you would actually play if you were to go to like a major tournament. And this isn't exactly what I play. I probably play back to basics control. I actually really like that. And I think it's more my style. But I think like tempo decks like this are pretty fun. They're higher skill than just playing a straight control deck. I firmly believe that. I firmly believe that like Echo Baronin and True Tempo, people like that can actually top 8 an event with like just straight up tempo deck. I feel like that takes more skill than piloting Jeskai control to a win. Although that's not easy either. And anybody who has like, I'd love to see debates in the comments, please. If you watch this far, please debate me in the comments or debate other people. I'd love for there to be a discourse around it and not just have the discourse confined to Discord and everybody's like separate little tribes. There, I said tribes. It's tribal. It's not kindred. It's tribal. What is offensive about that word? Anyway, okay, so let's go ahead and wrap it up. Sideboard, Dress Down didn't come in. Wrath of the Skies would have been good. You could argue that you only need 2, but like in my experience, if you go up against, we did go up against Cradle Control. We didn't go up against the Ocelot Pride deck, which would be a challenge for this deck, to say the least. But Wrath is just like the best thing you can be doing. So, mana base, having the double blue never really hurt. Not having Karakas didn't really come up. Like, I think people really over-index on Karakas, and they forget all the times they draw like a Karakas and a Wasteland, and they can't cast any of their cantrips to find their other lands. If you look at my land count, I'm very proud that this is 14 blue sources, even with the 4 Wastelands and the basic planes. And if you look, this is constructed almost identically to how a blue-black tempo mana base would construct. The only difference is that we're playing the second island instead of the Surveil land. And the reason, again, for that is because all of our win cons require double blue. If they somehow cut us off double blue, we can't win, frankly. Like I guess Brazen Borrower bounced the, even Brazen Borrower, if we want to use this as a win con, which is kind of the backdoor text on Brazen Borrower that does come up in a lot of like really intense battles. I've won many games with Brazen Borrower. It's great. So, yeah, I don't really have any thoughts. Like Hydroblast didn't come up this league, but it is very good, especially if you're up against like Epic Storm. Now they're playing, of course, Hexing Squelcher, latest Fire Design card. We didn't go up against Big Mana. I suspect Big Mana would be a bad matchup too, just because like they don't fetch, so your Stifles are really, really bad against them. They can stop like little things, but it's almost always a 0 for 1. I could talk all day about this, frankly. I had an absolute blast. I hope you had a blast too. I hope you go forth and be excellent to each other and party on.